another football sim behind is the phenomenally successful FIFA 99. Still hanging in at number 9, but in need of a rest, is Metal Gear Solid, and it's feeling the pressure. There's only one voice standing between us and Monkey World domination. That's Spike from Ape Escape at number 8. Elmer Fudd's in trouble at 7. That wascally wabbit is up to his tricks again in Bugs Bunny Lost in Time. Challenging the Tekkens and Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter Alpha 3 packs a hefty punch at 6. And trying to squeeze in a few extra runs, Brian Lara Cricket at number 5. The closest the PlayStation gets to GoldenEye, Siphon Filter heats up the opposition at number 4. And at number 3, keep your eyes on the road, V-Rally 2's trying to get in front. And at number 2, R-Type Delta shows us just how difficult side-scrolling blasters should be. But still ahead of the pack, Driver clings onto the road and is our coveted number 1 PlayStation game. Some more new games now, and this next title is bound to race up the charts when it's released in the autumn. Here's an early look at Tony Hawk's skateboarding. The game will give you the chance to play as the skateboarding legend Tony Hawk himself, or as one of 8 other real-life pro skaters. Each one will have their own characteristics, individual style and unique signature trick. As you can see, the motion-captured skateboarders are very realistic, and we found it very satisfying to string together a sequence of dangerous stunts. When the game is finished, it should offer 10 realistic courses, including half-pipes, skate parks, a shopping mall, and even a school. The 2-player game lets you compete with and outperform your friends, and there are plans for a career mode which should give the single-player game a bit more depth. Tony Hawk's skateboarding has already got good controls and a well-balanced learning curve. Hopefully the finished version will offer all the fun of the sport without the bruises. Staying on 4 wheels now, here's a first look at Revolt, a remote-controlled car game for the PC. If you're used to racing games where you get to drive a Dodge Viper or a Ferrari, then the idea of driving a remote-controlled car may not sound very exciting. But once you've seen the 13 well-designed courses, you'll soon realise just how much fun a bit of miniature racing can be. The game allows you to race around suburban streets, supermarkets, boats, even a science museum. And if you get bored of those, why not create your own course? The game comes complete with an easy-to-use track editor to ensure players get every racing thrill that their imaginations can think of. The game offers multiplayer options, weapons, and 28 different cars to choose from. But although it isn't original, Revolt is instantly fun and very, very playable. Out of the prehistoric era and onto your PC is Evolution, a multimedia package which will give you the chance to create and evolve life on Earth. You're taken back 360 million years and set the challenge of evolving the very first intelligent life form. Sounds easy? Well, it isn't. The journey from early amphibian to intelligent creature is a precarious one, and you struggle to keep your species alive and well. Your beings have to prosper, multiply and evolve into leaner, meaner creatures. The environments and landscapes change, and only the most adaptable and resourceful life forms can adapt in time. If you like monkeys, look away now, as this one is about to get a nasty shock. Environmental changes happen over a long period of time. A meteor strike or a volcanic eruption can happen instantly and without warning. These natural disasters can make your carefully tended species extinct in a flash. An ice age can spell disaster if your creatures like to dwell in the north. but if you have other species further south, then they will survive. Evolution is an entertaining and educational title, but it's also extremely complex and time-consuming. The variation of species is incredible and the game is well conceived, but just like evolution itself, it can take a very long time indeed. Finding it difficult to feel the force with Star Wars Episode 1 Racer on the N64, then listen up. We've got a handy cheat that will turn you from a learner driver into a racing genius. Got a pen? Okay, first you need an empty file. Then enter the file holding down Z, and using only the L button, enter your name as RR Tangent. That's R, R, T, A, N, G, E, N, and T. Exit the file and re-enter as before, this time entering Abacus as your name. That's A, B, A, C, U, and S. After confirmation, press C right on the title screen and a new file will be created that contains all of the pods and tracks. There's something nasty on the rise in a mythological land, and only a leather-clad, sword-swinging princess can stand against it. Contain yourselves, boys. Xena's coming to the PlayStation. Though the game appears to be similar to the Tomb Raider series, Xena's video gaming debut will have a number of unique features, not least its faithful reproduction of the television show's plot on which it's based. Players assuming the role of Xena will be able to take advantage of all her famous combat maneuvers, including, of course, her legendary sword-fighting skills. Well, everyone has an off day. Well, that's much more like it. Xena's adventure will span 7 huge worlds, each with a number of sub-levels, so there'll certainly be variety in the game. The designers also promised some challenging puzzles to complement the stunning action sequences. And of course there'll be scores of creatures and bad guys to fight, many of them familiar faces from the TV series, including such villains as the evil Ares.
Well, Xena, looks like you're not doing so well.
We'll be reviewing Xena Warrior Princess soon, but from this footage it seems likely that the game is certain to earn her even more adoring fans. Okay, time for our competition now, so grab a pen. This week's prize is an N64 and a copy of Shadow Man to play on it, so get ready to take a journey into the dark side with this magic-wielding voodoo vigilante. To win this prize, call our number and answer this question. Xena the Warrior is a member of a royal family, but what title does she hold? Is it A, King, B, Queen, or C, Princess? If you think you know, call 0660 113333. Please dial carefully and don't forget to ask permission from the person who pays the telephone bill first. We'll put up the question and number again at the end of today's show, so get dialing and good luck. Coming up, we visit a peculiar circus, check out the Age of Empires, and go on the hunt for a jungle lord. Everybody loves a scary computer game. Whether it's Half-Life, Resident Evil or Shadow Man, there's nothing better than a good fright to get the adrenaline pumping. And now, aiming to take terror to a whole new level, comes System Shock 2, a role-playing game that'll make you jump higher than a pole-vaulting kangaroo. With its sinister locations, moody lighting and atmospheric sound effects, it already feels dark and disturbing. Using the Thief graphics engine, the futuristic spaceship on which the game is based looks both realistic and detailed. Aside from the great visuals, the gameplay also appears to be brilliantly thought out. After choosing from one of 3 different soldier classes, your character will continually develop as the game goes on. From learning how to modify weapons to developing supernatural powers like telekinesis, you'll steadily improve as the adventure unfolds. In many people's eyes, System Shock is the most atmospheric first-person adventure ever. With the sequel about to arrive, even the mighty Half-Life could face some serious competition. Just as scary, but in a very different way, is Psycho Circus, a game based on those glam rock giants Kiss. Exactly why these colourful clowns have been put into a computer game is anyone's guess, but going on this exclusive footage, it may become a surprise hit. You control one of the band members dressed as a psychotic clown and have to run around various levels attacking hordes of bizarre enemies, whilst listening, of course, to some heavy glam rock music. Based on the comic book series that shares the same name, Psycho Circus already has a strong following. Okay, it won't be a Quake 3 beta, but with its mix of first-person action and horror-style environments, it'll certainly be an attention grabber.
Welcome to the show!
When anyone mentions Italy, you tend to think of fine food, lots of culture and scenic beauty. But there is something else the Italians are famous for. The name Ferrari symbolises perfectly a country's passion for motorsport. Founded by Enzo Ferrari, a test driver from Modena, Italy, the blood-red cars have forged a reputation for excellence and glamour. Official site, you can trace the humble beginnings of the company and its growth into a luxurious trademark. You can also look at the factory in Maranello, complete with its state-of-the-art wind tunnel. This is used to improve aerodynamics and boost the Formula One car's performance. Ferrari's first Grand Prix win came in 1951, and World Championship success followed in 52, with Alberto Ascari as the driver. Their last title was in 1979, but by all accounts, this could be a winning year for the famous racers. For a more up-to-date look at the efforts of Ferrari in Formula One, try this site from the official team. With some stunning pictures of drivers Michael Schumacher and Eddie Irvine, these pages are essential viewing for any fan. There are numerous sites on the net devoted to the Italian firm. One of the best is this one by Mr. Boy. You can access a whole load of motor racing links as well as a historic archive of Ferraris that have graced the racing circuit. If you want to join Ferrari's passionate supporters, the Tifosi, then the best place to find them is at Monza. The track first hosted the Italian Grand Prix in 1922 and is renowned for its notorious banked curves. Although the banking hasn't been used since the late 1960s for safety reasons, the decaying track is still a popular site for race fans. Ferrari is one of the most influential names in world motorsport. With 25 world titles and well over 5,000 race wins, it's also one of the most successful. Thanks to the net, we can explore for ourselves the fascination and passion with this famous company. spent the last few weeks in the dark and dangerous tunnels of Quake 2 on the N64, you might like to grab a pen as we have a cheat to liven up your gameplay. Blasting alien creatures is a tiring job, so maybe you need to take the weight off your feet. Just enter S, 3, T, L, O, W, G, R, V, 1, T, Y, and 4 question marks. Now you'll experience low gravity in the multiplayer mode. Running and walking will be normal, but be wary of jumping in this weightless war zone, as you may find you hit your head on the ceiling. Look, strategy fans, by the time you've completed Dungeon Keeper 2 and Total Annihilation Kingdoms, this is the game you'll be playing. Age of Empires 2 is almost complete and it looks amazing. Whilst the gameplay is almost exactly like the original, you'll have loads more races to choose from, units to build and technologies to research. From deadly siege machines to knights on horseback, you'll be able to form huge armies to battle against your rivals. And as the improved graphics engine animates every unit brilliantly, you can have great fun watching your troops destroy an enemy's city. There will also be a host of new sea-based units to create, including these rather handy flame-throwing galleons. Age of Empires 2 looks bigger, bolder and better than ever. Only Tiberian Sun stands in its way of total strategy genre domination. If you own an N64, chances are you've never played a proper strategy game, but things are about to change. Command & Conquer has finally been converted to the N64 and it plays surprisingly well. You must take control of one of 2 warring factions, the heroic GDI or the evil Brotherhood of Nod. Whoever you choose, the gameplay revolves around collecting a resource called Tiberian, constructing buildings and then creating various fighting units. Whilst this console version doesn't match up to the excellent PC game, it's just as easy to play, and most importantly, it's just as compelling. Complete one mission and you'll immediately want to try the next. Okay, Command & Conquer won't convert too many N64 owners into strategy fans, but for those of you who want to fight and think, this is a great place to start. Tarzan is the classic tale of a baby lost in the jungle and raised by apes, and it's also the latest feature-length film from the masters of animation, Disney. What do good movie scenes make? Why, great levels in a game, of course. And who better to tell us about Disney's newest game than the men behind it?
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a director at Eurocom, who are the core overworked developer that are working on Tarzan at the moment. We create all the art assets, all the sound, the animation that we create in 3D. And we pull all the pieces together and create the game.
And they produced one of the finest looking Disney games ever, but there were problems.
Take a 2D character and to build that character in 3D, and also to be able to move the camera around in the game and to show the world in 3 dimensions is a huge challenge for us.
So how did they do it? Matt told us about the development process.
Initially with taking a 2D image to a 3D model, is that we'll get approved drawings from Disney, different angles, so you get them from the front, the side, rear view. That will give us a lot of the information we need to build a 3D model of the character. When that is approved, we can then do other things to it, such as adding textures, adding lighting, and that generally finishes off the model.
Much of the the game's appeal is in the way the team have grabbed memorable moments from the movie and painstakingly recreated them for players to experience in the game. Here you can see Tarzan tree surfing in the film. Next, the scene in its 3D computer form with only basic obstacles. And finally, the full-speed, finished video game level, complete with realistic textures, fantastic lighting and sound effects. The jungle undergrowth is one area that Matt is particularly proud of. The plants are amazingly detailed and Tarzan can climb vines that stretch right off into the distance, all in 3D. For these dramatic effects, the team had to write and use a program specifically created for jungle environments, which took months. But that's not all they did.
The main research that we did for the game really was a videotape in, say, chimpanzees, young chimpanzees. Especially for young Tarzan, they based a lot of the animation around young chimpanzees, not a human character.
And did you adopt any unusual techniques?
An animator is an actor, really, and a lot of the time you'll see our guys in the office jumping around like chimpanzees, jumping off chairs, because it's the only way they can figure out how to do some of the animation. It's a bit of a crazy environment, but it keeps things fun and it's good.
It certainly is good. When the film and the game are eventually released, fans will find a whole host of game styles to master that directly relate to the action in the movie. Tarzan should be one of the most exciting Disney experiences ever. And who could resist those magnificent monkeys? Ah. Yes, we're back. You're watching Cybernet with me, Lucy Longhurst. So get ready to wrestle men in tights, go for a spin on 2 wheels, take on a tournament, and become a rock and roll legend. It's Cybernet. Our first review is a gothic adventure set in a land overrun by vampires. This is Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver on the PC. You play Raziel, a former lieutenant of the vampire leader Kain. Kain had you thrown into purgatory because you grew wings before he did, and your task is to seek revenge for this betrayal. Although your wings are ruined, you can grab hold of them and use them to float around like a hang glider. You're also quite agile on the ground and can leap huge distances with ease. Raziel has the ability to travel between the real and spectral worlds, and this adds an extra dimension to the gameplay. You can only manipulate objects in the physical world, which can make solving some of the puzzles especially tricky. Combat plays a large role in this game, and it works brilliantly. The control system is similar to that in Zelda. By holding down one key, you automatically stay facing your nearest enemy. There are lots of objects in the game that you can use as weapons, but remember, if you want to eliminate a vampire, normal weapons won't be enough. Soul Reaver is a very similar game to Shadow Man, but it's a lot more enjoyable. This is one title we'll be playing for a while, at least until we get our revenge on the evil Kain.
Cast him in.
Based on an old theme, Rash Unchained. This title is an updated version of the Mega Drive classic, but with some new features. It now has a unique 2-player sidecar mode, where one of you can control the bike, while the other attempts to clear the road. To be honest, so far we don't think the game looks that impressive. If you already own Rash, there won't be much in this new title to make you come back for more. The graphics look quite rough, and the collision detection between the vehicles is not very good. Apart from the sidecar option, another multiplayer mode allows you to battle against your friends, but it still doesn't offer anything new or exciting. Rash Unchained may win a new generation of fans with its mix of combat and racing, but it's also something most of us will leave alone, as we've seen it all before. On to a review of the latest football game to make PC owners lace up their boots, FA Premier League Stars. Boasting a huge license, this game has all the official 1999 kits, grounds and squads. The players even look similar to their real-life counterparts. The biggest and most interesting feature is the stars system. Instead of managing your team with statistics, in this game you can win and allocate stars to various players. The stars improve their heading, shooting or passing abilities.
Oh, they missed the target, That's not a good tackle.
The game actually plays quite well and looks fantastic. The controls are fairly simple to master, and it's quite a thrill to score a great goal with your favourite striker. The stars system is not the most in-depth method of management, but it's fun and complements the arcade side of the game brilliantly. Overall, FA Premier League Stars is an original and excellent title. This is as close to playing professional football as most of us will ever get.
You've already learned all of the individual parts to Rumble, so playing the song is really just a matter of putting it together in tempo.
This is Ross Bolton, your personal guitar tutor, and it's his task to transform you from a clumsy plucker into a guitar hero. Teach Me Guitar is an interactive CD-ROM that combines still pictures, diagrams, video and audio. The information is clearly presented, and if you can avoid the temptation to skip steps...
E triad, picking the bass note with a downstroke, followed by the rest of the chords.
The video is fast and clear, and once you're good enough, you can join the band. You can remove the guitar track from the band's song and play along in front of your PC, replacing the guitarist with your own playing. Guitar is a fantastic package. Rarely have we seen a title which can teach you so much. If you're a guitar fan in need of improvement, then this one is for you. If you're a beginner, then you should seriously think about picking up a guitar and teaching yourself the tricks with this excellent title. Take it away, boys! And 10 of the best PC games from around the world. At 10, driving without due care and attention, it's this hapless motorist from GTA London 1969. In 9th, load your weapons and get ready to fire in the explosive new adventure Outcast. Still keeping the paying customers happy, Roller Coaster Tycoon provides the funfair thrills at 8. Battling fire-breathing dragons with wooden airships, it's a risky gambit in Total Annihilation Kingdoms in 7. Exploring the eerie graveyards of Ankh-Morpork is Luton from Discworld Noir at 6. And at number 5, still chasing the league leaders, it's Championship Manager 3. Dropping into 4th with some nifty swordmanship is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. At 3, the inmates are getting restless. The mistress seems to be eating all their chickens in Dungeon Keeper 2. And second this week is the hugely engrossing real-time strategy game Hidden and Dangerous. But keeping us all alert, Aliens vs. Predator has jumped straight in at number 1. With WWF Attitude. Wrestling games are fairly common on consoles, so what makes this one stand out? Well, to start with, there's a huge number of wrestlers to choose from, and each has their own unique throws, signature moves, and crushing taunts.
The Rock says you are the biggest piece of trailer park trash walking God's green earth.
Leave me alone!
Good response. There are also over a dozen modes of play, from simple one-on-one bouts to 4-in-a-ring battle royals. But best of all has to be the option to create your own wrestler, whose appearance, personality and all-important move list can be customized to suit your playing style. Just be sure to make them tough enough. And if things aren't going your way, you can always give yourself a little weight advantage.
It's not hard to look down on you.
The gameplay may not be anything new, but WWF Attitude has enough fresh features to make it king of the ring.
Up and over!
Back on the canvas, but for a slightly more serious sport, here's KO on the PC. Your aim is to guide your chosen fighter through a series of grueling bouts where, as in real boxing, you're forced to limit the punches you throw to avoid getting tired. The game provides a useful sparring mode in which you can try out the simple-to-use moves on a rather dopey opponent. Train hard, though, because it won't be so easy in front of the crowd. Unlike the most successful boxing games like Punch-Out and the forthcoming Ready to Rumble boxing, KO chooses realism over arcade action. And while true boxing fans might appreciate this, everyone else might find the path to victory just a little too dull. Well, at least he's happy. Okay, time for our competition now, so grab a pen. This week's prize is a PlayStation and a copy of Shadow Man to play on it. So take on this dark and mysterious magical manifestation and be afraid. Be very afraid. To win this prize, call our number and answer this question. What is the name of the area that wrestlers climb into to fight? Is it A, a ring, B, an isosceles triangle, or C, a dodecahedron? If you think you know, call 0660 113333. Please dial carefully and don't forget to ask permission from the person who pays the telephone bill first. We'll put up the question and number again at the end of today's show, so get dialing and good luck. Coming up, we've a dose of mystical madness, a smattering of Formula One, and the newest blaster for your PC. Take another flight into fantasy now with Darkstone. The Dragon Lord Drak has once again threatened your world, so you must embark on an adventure to find the 7 pieces of the Time Orb and banish him forever. Okay, it's not the most original storyline, but fortunately the graphics and gameplay more than make up for it. After choosing 2 characters from the usual mix of fighters, wizards and healers, you must prepare to battle with over 100 different enemies. With a broad selection of weapons and spells to use, you'll soon gain experience, which leads to new skills and abilities. But whilst the gameplay certainly has depth, it's the graphics that really make this title stand out. Using the brilliant Delphine 3D engine, every location, creature and background looks so detailed, we thought the speed of the game would suffer, but we were wrong. Although you do need a 3D accelerator card to run the game, the action is always smooth and well animated, even when you zoom up close to battles.
Help, please, help.
Whilst Darkstone doesn't have the same amount of detail or involvement as the classic Baldur's Gate, it certainly has more instant action appeal. Like Diablo, the gameplay never becomes too complex, allowing you to concentrate on those explosive battles instead. So forget intricate plots and get ready for some fiery encounters. Europe boasts some of the greatest football clubs in the world, so we decided to check out some of the better team sites on the web. Firstly, we visited Spain and Barcelona FC's homepage. Barcelona are celebrating their 100th anniversary this year, and as one of the most highly decorated teams in the world, their pages are full of spectacular images. And along with that success comes a lot of trophies. They've won 16 league titles, 6 of which have been in the last 10 years. Apart from the glamorous side of the sport, you can explore the back rooms and see where the pampered players receive their treatment. Photographs of the team's magnificent arena can also be seen. It's the largest stadium in Europe with the capacity to hold 120,000 screaming fans. Next, we headed for colder climes and London, home to the legendary Chelsea FC. As well as detailed information about the club and its players, you can participate in a trivia penalty shootout. Answer the questions correctly and you'll plant the ball firmly in the back of the net. Get it wrong and you may find yourself sitting back on the bench. Stamford Bridge has been the setting for many exciting matches in recent years, and a photo gallery will let you see its star players in action.
Joining us for what should be a great match between Barcelona.
Lastly, we visited Italy, home to the famous Juventus FC. This site is the best of the three, with fantastic panoramic pictures of the Stadio del Alpi stadium and photos of the winning side at work. After their formation in 1897, Juventus chose to play in pink shirts. In 1903, they received a wrong kit consignment from England and have played in their famous black and white strip ever since. So whoever you support, the internet is the champion when it comes to fascinating football facts. Driver is a great racer, spoilt just a little by its impossible final mission. So if you want to finish the game, you might need the following cheat. At the main menu, press L2 twice, R2 twice, L2, R2, L2, L1, R2, R1, L2, and L1 twice. You can now turn on the invincibility cheat and never be troubled by roadblocks again. For a very different drive, why not turn the world on its head? Go to the main menu and press R2 twice, R1, L2, L1, R2, L2, L1, R2 twice, L2, R2, and L1. You can now turn on the Antipodean cheat to race upside down. Or if you find those huge American cars a little too big, then why not make them smaller? Again, go to the main menu and press R1, R2, R1, R2, L1, L2, R1, R2, L1, R1, and L2 3 times. Now you can turn on the mini cheat for some miniature toy-sized car chase action. Happy motoring! Get those propellers spinning, as it's time to take to the clouds with one of the most interesting flight simulations ever, Flight Unlimited 3. The previous Flight Unlimited games were famous for their immense level of detail. The good news with this third installment is that there are even more choices and scenarios to fly. You can pilot a wide range of different aircraft, from gliders to wartime bombers. Learning to fly is particularly hard. Just trying to get off the ground at first is amazingly difficult. But once you're in the air, you're treated to some of the most dynamic and realistic viewing perspectives ever seen in a flight simulation, which is great fun when you're trying to win a dogfight in some of the combat missions. Flight Unlimited 3 is a versatile title that offers all sorts of aircraft and flying conditions. Whether you want to fight in the skies or simply float over the streets of Paris, this is the game for you. experience some speed on the ground now with a look at the next racer to appear on the N64. Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation 2 enjoyed moderate success on the PC and PlayStation. However, the N64 version could well be the best, and at the moment is looking just as good as F1 World Grand Prix. As it's a simulation, there'll be many technical areas on your car that you can adjust, but if you just want to get into the action, then the arcade mode is an easier option. The game doesn't have a Formula 1 license, so drivers Michael Schumacher and Damon Hill become M. Hummiger and Damon Mill. But don't let this deter you, as Racing Simulation 2 should become one of the best handling races around. There was a time when the N64 was struggling for a decent racing game, but Racing Simulation 2 should add to an improving and exciting genre. Unreal was first released, it amazed everyone with its stunning good looks and incredible lighting effects. It wasn't the best first-person shooting game around, but it really looked like it was in a class of its own. Now its successor, Unreal Tournament, is on its way with more than a few unusual features. Firstly, it tries to recreate the feeling of human multiplayer deathmatch with artificially intelligent robots. Working your way up a ladder system, players take on ever more cunning computer-controlled marines who act just like human players would. One of the game's creators took time off from his busy posing schedule to tell us what playing against computer-controlled bots is like.
Playing with bots is a really cool experience. If you're really good at first-person shooters, you can set the bot AI really high and have a challenging opponent, or you can set it low to have a simple opponent. So when the bot's skill level is higher, they can make more intelligent, based off their observations, more intelligent decisions in combat situations. So that you'll have bots that not only move human-like by dodging, strafing out of the way of attacks and so forth, but also employing weapons against you that are better for the situation. For example, using sniper rifles when they're shooting down on you from far away, and using a rocket launcher when it's medium range, and things like that.
Another stroke of genius is the introduction of scenarios. Players can compete to capture each other's flag or enter into domination, where a mixture of computer and human-controlled characters must take over control points and hold them. Each team can have up to 16 members on each side, and you can select which ones are computer-controlled and which ones are human. Then each one can be issued with specific orders, like taking a base or holding a position. What will prove to be the most fun, though, is Assault, where teams are given the challenge of completing a task like jumping out of a helicopter and capturing a train, while the other team has to stop them. Of course, there are lots of weapons to use, but Brandon thinks that one will make the biggest impression, the Redeemer.
When you fire the weapon, the primary fire just fires a low-yield nuclear warhead at your opponent, and it does a lot of damage. It's a very powerful weapon. But the alt fire, and this is what people really like, is it allows you to steer the weapon around. So you can fly it into your enemy base and take out a lot of the enemy at once. And you only have one shot when you get it, so you use it or you lose it.
So that's Unreal Tournament, getting ready to take over multiplayer gaming on your PC. Whether the programmers have done a good enough job with the artificial intelligence, we'll have to wait and see. But one thing's for sure, it looks gorgeous, just like Brandon himself. That's it from Cybernet for this week, but before we go, why don't you try our competition to win a console? We'll see you again on the Sci-Fi Channel very soon, so bye for now.